taking life by the horns means facing your fears and not running from conflict. She's a life coach, pharmacist, actress, and inspirational speaker. We'd like to welcome Dr. Drayvon James, founder of Everyday Peace, with more on how to use challenges to build better relationships. Well, welcome.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here this morning.
Would you say that conflict or challenges are a gift?
I would. I'm so glad you put it that way. I call it an abundant resource.
An abundant resource, which, yes, we have no shortage of these days, particularly. But you say that everything happens for you and not to you. Can you explain?
Yes. So if you look, and we're talking specifically about conflict happening for you, what happens when you successfully lean into conflict? And I didn't say you get the results that you want. You just lean in. You get to understand more about you. You get to understand more about the situation or the individual, and all of that understanding, all of that wisdom adds up, and it's like in your basket of tricks and tips for your life, life hacks, if you will. All that adds up to wisdom that you can use and carry with you on your journey. So it's all for our good.
Absolutely. A lot of people, they hate conflict. They avoid it like the plague because it's often easier to take the path of least resistance. But what is the value of acknowledging conflict?
Oh, so much value there. And let me encourage people, get rid of that word conflict. It's so harsh. Let's just call it a misalignment, right? Who wants to avoid a misalignment? We all want to be in alignment. And so the value here is deeper, more meaningful relationships, showing up as your authentic self. How wonderful would that be if we could show up, not looking for the right answer, but showing up as our authentic self and allowing someone else to do that as well.
Right, and being open-minded. A lot of people, they're very closed-minded. So how would you encourage someone to open their mind, see things from another perspective?
Right, even that, show up. If that's where you are right now, be honest and vulnerable about that. Showing up in a conversation saying, in the past, I've been very closed-minded about this. I've had my, hard and fast rules. I'm open to hearing a different point of view. Doesn't mean I'm going to change my mind, but just showing up as your authentic self and owning that. This is who I am, without shame or condemnation. This is who I am, and I'm here today. This has been what I've done in the past, but let's talk. Let's get into a dialogue.
I find that you can have those conversations with good friends and you can come out of it feeling like your friendship is renewed. How do you apply those same tactics, say, in the workplace? You're dealing with very different personalities and you all got there for different reasons that are unrelated. So you are coming in with many different backgrounds. So how would you apply those tactics in that situation?
That's so wonderful because conflict, as I mentioned, is everywhere. So we're going to use the same technique. And what I said, start by thinking of it as a misalignment and start by saying, hey, let's talk about what our goal is, especially in the workplace, right? We're all goal oriented. What's the mission? Why are we here? What's the goal? Right? And then what are some activities that we can all do to reach that goal? And you're going to hear so many different viewpoints, and that's wonderful. And having that discussion, saying, let's be open to hear everything. There's nothing that's off the table. Everybody bring all of their activities that they'd like to suggest. And then let's make a commitment to honor each other in this space, to be respectful in the space, and open up to exploring how we're going to get there. And then commit on an activity that we agree on. Everyone won't get their way, but at least we've come to it saying that we're misaligned and we want to align.
Right. And defensiveness. To avoid defensiveness and act with care. And care is actually an acronym for something.
Yeah, care means communicate openly, show up vulnerable, let other people show up vulnerable. And then the A stands for active listening. We have 2 ears for a reason, so let's listen, let's really listen. And when we listen, we're going to do the R automatically, review all of the options because we heard all of the options. And then E, everybody wins because everyone gets to express themselves in a safe, non-judgmental environment.
Right, and you say to remember that shared goal, that you're all trying to arrive at the same goal. So put your ego aside.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. You read Norman Vincent Peale's The Power of Positive Thinking, and you say that changed your life. How so?
I read that book when I was 17 years old, and I gotta say now at this age, I probably read it over 100 times. It
Wow.
opened me up to something of knowing my true self, what I really wanted to do. At that point, I was on my way. I got accepted into pharmacy school, but I knew that I wanted to help people reach a deeper level of happiness,
Right.
irregardless of what was going on in their external world, to realize that true joy comes from within and to tap into that on a regular, consistent basis.
Absolutely. Dr. Drayvon James, you're also the host of Everyday Peace on Unity Radio and the author of the book, Freedom is Your Birthright. And when you're not doing all that other stuff, you can catch her on The Wire. You're a Renaissance woman. I want to thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We're back after this.